Hello everybody, what's up? It's Lauren and today I'm doing a very exciting video. I'm doing a study routine video and I'm wearing this cheetah sweater which I just got from Shein. I'll link it down below. But I covered up my cow pillows if you guys watch my videos because I thought it would be like too much like animal. I've been wanting to do some more college videos because I haven't done them in a little while, and if you guys are new to my channel, I just graduated college in December, so I did 3.5 years of college. But I have a lot of knowledge that I still want to share, and I'm going to share with you guys the things I do that make it a lot easier to study and the routine that you can get yourself down in to make studying a little bit more doable, because obviously it's not something that we all enjoy doing. Anyways, before I get started, I always self-promo my Instagram. It's Lauren's Boutique. Follow me on there. I've been posting on Instagram, doing like questions, things like that if you want to be more involved. And yeah, if you guys have any video requests or any other study tips that I did not cover, please leave those down below. Anyways, without further ado, why don't we jump right on into the video. The first thing is to create a to-do list and schedule. So this is really important because if you don't create a to-do list of things you have to study for and things you have to do, you're going to be literally scatterbrained. I feel like lists just clear my mind and help me focus on what I need to focus on. So yes, creating a to-do list of everything you want to study for, from most important to least important, is super helpful. And I'm a very visual learner, a very visual person, so I think that's why it helps me, but I think it can help pretty much anyone. And just create a schedule of when you want to study, how many hours you want to put in, just so you have, again, that set schedule that motivates you to go to the library or wherever you're going. Number 2 is extremely important, and that's to find a productive space. So find a space where you find yourself to be the most productive. So I know that some people have to work in pitch silence in the library. I remember I was like this when I first started school. I couldn't even listen to music. Like, it needs to be completely silent for me to study. And so I would go to the library basement, and it was kind of cold and not much light or windows, but I would go there because I got a lot of studying done down there. But now I've changed, and ever since like my junior year, I've actually worked better in like cafes and coffee shops and stuff like that. Or I would go to like common areas at my school. There's like a cute little like lounge area at my school that I would always study in. So just find what you think works best for you. Number 3 is to put your phone away. So this is an obvious one. You can check your phone once in a while when you're taking breaks, but just put the phone down on the side or put it in your bag, because I'm really bad with my phone and I always get distracted, and I know that it's a big issue and a lot of people get distracted by their phones. So number 1 tip is to just take that phone, put it away, don't even think about it for a little while, and you'll get so much more done. Also create a study playlist. This is kind of going along with the putting the phone away, but I put the phone away and I put a nice playlist on. Usually my playlist, I'll play it on my Spotify on my computer, or I'll play it on my phone, but I make sure to put my phone down. I always like to have a nice little playlist. Usually I'm just like more like chill music. I usually put it on like a low volume, and I don't know, I just think it's really helpful and I get a lot done when I have a good playlist going. Number 4 is to bring water and snacks. So I always like to get a coffee before I study, so there's a lot of coffee shops around my college that I would go and get a coffee, just because I just like having something to drink while I'm studying. So usually I would just grab a coffee or a tea. I think that's pretty important. And if you're not a coffee tea person, bring some water with you. I think that's really great, and just like a snack. So I always had a granola bar with me, because if I'm there for a couple hours, I am going to get pretty antsy and want to eat something. My next tip is extremely important, and this is how I study the best, and this is like my main studying technique, and it's to go through all of my notes for my classes and make a summarization of all of them, like a little study guide out of them. So let's say I took like 10 pages of notes in my class, and that's a lot to study from. If I just go through all 10 pages, I'm not going to be able to retain that information. So what I like to do is I like to go through all my notes, have a new notebook next to me, and create a little like 2-page summarization of all of my notes and all the important points that I want to study. So what this does is it helps you rewrite your notes, relook at your notes, and summarize them into something that's more obtainable for you to study from. So I know that some people like to rewrite all of their notes, which could be helpful if that's something you like to do, but I find myself writing so many notes. I write down like everything, and I get really overwhelmed, and studying all the information just doesn't seem very doable for me. So I just like to make sure that I have like 2 to 3 solid pages of good important notes, and just kind of put that all into a little study guide. And when I'm going through those notes and studying them, it just makes my life so much easier. And then I will go through with a highlighter or colored pens and just emphasize important information on that page. So just making the study guide super easy so I can study it whenever I want. Next, if you have a class that's very like definition heavy or like very like vocab heavy, flashcards are just an essential. I really didn't use too many flashcards getting into my later classes, but when I had like more of my intro classes that were like science and things like that, I did need to use a lot of flashcards because there was a lot of definitions and vocabulary that I needed to know. So I would highly recommend doing some flashcards. They're super inexpensive. They're such a classic study tip. Next tip is using acronyms. I use acronyms a lot to shorten my notes. So when I'm going through those like 10 to 20 pages of notes and I'm shortening them into a little study guide, I always use acronyms. They help me so much. And I just think they're really important because you can summarize all your information, make it more easy to learn and easy to retain. Next is practice questions. If your teacher gives you practice questions, do them. Even if there's like 100 of them and he's like, okay, 20 of these will be on the test, use those study questions. They are so important. I know that sometimes you can find study questions online that are similar, so I would also do that. Go online and find study questions if you can, especially when it comes to like math, things like that, like practice problems. I know a lot of textbooks have practice problems, especially when it comes to math-based things or science-based things. Usually at the end of chapters, they'll have like chapter questions, things like that. Those helped me study a lot when I was doing like science, math-based things, or even social studies, more like broad, basic subjects. Next is to find visuals, charts, or graphs. So again, this has to do with anything that's maybe like a visual thing that you're learning about. Try to find online a visual of any information. Again, this doesn't pertain to every single study thing, but let's say you're learning about a cell or you're learning about a chart or diagram. It's really great to have a visual of whatever you're learning about because it could help you a lot, especially with science. I found this to be extremely helpful. Another really great extra side tip that I've said in other past study videos is look up YouTube videos. I find so many helpful YouTube videos. I remember in high school, I had a macroeconomics class and economics just like never made sense to me and I just like couldn't get it down. I was so frustrated because I just didn't get econ. So I went onto YouTube. I forgot the guy's name, but he was like amazing. Like he had every single chapter laid out for AP macro and he would go through and explain every single chapter and I was getting hundreds on my econ tests. And I'm bad at econ, or at least I thought I was, but I guess not after those tests because that teacher like on YouTube was so extremely helpful. Honestly, type in your subject or your topic into YouTube and see if you can find someone who can explain it to you better, because sometimes the way your teacher explains it to you may not be the way that your learning process works. Okay, next tip. If your teacher uploads PowerPoint slides online, I usually would literally like go online and find those PowerPoint slides and use them. Those are so important. I'm so happy when teachers upload PowerPoint slides because that's exactly what they taught you and they're probably gonna grab questions or like base their questions off of their slides because that's what they taught you. So honestly, literally study from those slides. So when I was doing my studying, I would always go to my PowerPoint slides and help study from those slides and add that to my little study guide, and I would go through my notes and the slides at the same time and add that into my study guide. Next is to take some breaks. So when I did my study routine and I was doing all of this stuff, after like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, I would feel so burnt out and I would be just like daydreaming at that point and I wouldn't even be like studying. So I like to like walk around and just like take a little break, whether that be go on your phone. I literally like to like physically get up, even if it's just going to the bathroom or going up and getting myself like a snack or tea or something if I was like in a library or cafe. I just like to do that just to clear my mind, and it helps like bring me back to square one and help me study better. So always take breaks. Don't like burn yourself out, but don't take too many breaks where you're on your phone every couple minutes, because I'm guilty of that and I know a lot of you guys are probably guilty of that. So my last little tip is the amount of time you want to study. So I personally think it's so important not to study the day of. I like to study like a couple of days before because I found, and I think it's like proven, it's definitely like scientifically proven, but I found that when I study and then the next day study again, I retain the information after I sleep. So I feel like once you study and then your brain goes to bed and you store all the information you learned from the day, when you wake up in the morning, you actually know so much more and you realize it the next day. So I feel like if I study the day of, I don't have that sleep to help process my information that I learned. So I found that like studying the day of has not helped me, even if it's like studying in the morning for like a night class. I still need that like sleep to help me retain my information. Yeah, but pretty much those are my little like study routine tips, kind of how I study and what I do. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any study routine tips yourselves, or if you guys have any video requests, let me know down below, because I love comments. Comments are like my favorite thing ever, so I love responding to them. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye!